Game Week 3 Preview, Cleansheet Odds. Man City face newcomers Sheffield at Bramall Lane this week. They will fancy their chances of keeping a clean sheet, having conceded the least goals last season, 33, as well as keeping to clean sheets in their opening 2 games. Man United will be hoping for an improved performance against Nottingham this weekend at Old Trafford, whilst United will be looking for their second consecutive home clean sheet. Nottingham have scored in 9 consecutive Premier League games. Informed Taiwo Awoniyi has netted 9. Arsenal host Fulham in the hope of keeping their first clean sheet at the Emirates this season. Remarkably, since the start of last season, they have kept 14 clean sheets, but only 3 have come at home. Chelsea host Luton at Stamford Bridge this weekend. However, Chelsea have not kept a clean sheet for 11 games, with their last one coming on the 4th of April against Liverpool. On form, Brighton returned to the MX on top of the Premier League. Their attacking football has meant they are susceptible to conceding at the back, but with favorable fixtures incoming, it could be time to load their assets. Top transfers in and out. With the combination of many people rolling a transfer in Game Week 1, and a bunch of new injuries and red cards to deal with, it's no surprise to see lots of transfers, all seeing 300k plus teams transfer them in or out already this week. Top transfers in. Bryan Mbeumo, currently on the same amount of goals, 3, as Chelsea and Man United combined. 3 of the next 4 games are home. Estupiñán, a goal, 2 assists, and for bonus points would be solid returns for any position thus far. And as arguably the most nailed asset in an informed Brighton team, he's another good buy. Wissa, most likely a common switch from João Pedro, 6th most transferred out, due to the position, price point, but having a great start in his own right with 2 goals and an assist in the opening 2 games. Mitoma. Brighton have a couple of trickier games coming up: Newcastle at home and Man U away in the next 3. But Mitoma has averaged 85 minutes per match for 17 points thus far, and looks as nailed as it gets in the informed Brighton attack. March. Not really a player who was being talked about preseason. Now the highest scoring in the game with 24 points. Tops the SET index to thus far. But is triple Brighton a viable play? Some interesting things to note. The top 5 transfers in are exactly the same 5 players as the top 5 point scoring players. They all play for Brentford, Brighton. They are all priced from 5.2 to 6.7 millions, and they all have at least 3 attacking returns. Thus far, it will be interesting to see how this develops if either of those teams start to lose form, particularly bearing in mind Brighton's trickier upcoming fixtures. Top transfers out. Stones and James, both injured and confirmed out for several weeks. Easy sell. Gabriel, still hard to say for certain he starts the next game. Sell. Rashford, the 4th most selected player in the game, clearly hasn't started the season in great form. Nevertheless, Nottingham Forest at home next game is not an obvious exit point. I do wonder how many started the season on the Rashford, Bruno double up and are now getting rid of. 1. Personally, I'd wait a week if I only owned Rashford. McAllister, his red card has now been overturned, so he won't be missing any fixtures. However, as a £6 million midfielder, there are clearly better options who are less expensive out there. Not necessarily the biggest problems in people's squads, but makes sense to get rid if you can. Player versus team records. Mo Salah have been directly involved in 11 goals in 13 league matches against Newcastle. 6 goals and 5 assists. Solly March has never scored in 11 meetings with West Ham, but he is playing in a different role now. Salah scored 1 goal and assisted another 2 in Bournemouth's most recent match against Spurs. Budget enablers. Goalkeepers. 2 £4 million goalkeepers started again for their clubs in Game Week 2. Moyes' decision to make Areola £4 million his new number 1 was vindicated on Sunday, when he saved Enzo's penalty in the derby. Defenders. With Burnley and Luton blanking in Game Week 2, cut price options at the back were limited to say the least. The newly promoted pair provided 5 £4 million starters between them in Game Week 1, with Jordan Bayer and Kabore in particular catching the eye. Baldock £4 million missed out with a slight issue to his calf. Despite a disappointing defeat, Gusto £4 million made a promising full debut. He looked assured for the most part and attempted for crosses, sitting deeper than Chilwell £5.7 million on the opposite flank. Webster £4.4 million returned from injury for Brighton, pushing Van Heck £4 million out of the starting XI. Midfielders. Not only did Sarr and Chukwuemeka £4.5 million start in Game Week 2, but they also got on the scoresheet. Fulham's Lukic for £0.5 million started in the role we're used to seeing Kyle Hinha £5 million in. Forwards, it's two attacking returns in as many game weeks for Bournemouth forward Semenyo for £0.5 million, who followed up his assist off the bench in Game Week 1 with a goal at Anfield. Deployed on the right wing, he was arguably the Cherries' biggest goal threat, racking up 3 shots. Osula for £0.5 million had another chance to impress for Sheffield on Friday, playing 73 minutes. With McBurney £5.5 million and Jebison £5 million still nursing injuries, his hold-up play was good, but longer term, there are doubts if he'll remain a regular starter. All data in this video are from Fantasy Football Scout members area. Join now from the link in description and save 30%. So from recent news, John Stones is out until upcoming international break. Let's look at possible replacements for him. Vardiel, Man City. He is £0.5 million cheaper than Stones, and he can be a direct replacement without making a second transfer. Man City have conceded 0 goals in the FPL so far this season. I won't be surprised if they keep 5 clean sheets in their next 5 fixtures. Ben Chilwell, Chelsea £5.7 million. You do need some money though, as he costs 0.3 more than Stones after recent price changes. Also, fixtures are very tasty. A doggy Spurs for £0.5 million. This is certainly a wildcard punty option here. He has relatively low ownership at 2%, and even though Spurs' defense can be suspect at times, he's playing really forward. Rico Henry, Brentford for £0.6 million. Brentford has been a team to target due to their excellent fixture run, and the fixtures after this is getting even better. He has looked relatively very attacking, though notching an assist in the first game and a clean sheet in the second. Top 3 differentials. Both Diaz and Awoniyi scored in Game Week 2, while Diaby failed to get involved in any of Aston Villa's 4 goals against Everton. Now our picks for Game Week 3. Malo Gusto, Chelsea, £4 million, 3.2%. With James out until the international break, Gusto provides a cheap route to Chelsea's defense. 5 of the Blues' next 6 fixtures rate 2 out of 5 in the fixtures difficulty rating. Solly March, Brighton, £6.6 million, 9.4%. FPL top scorer so far this season with 24 points, 3 goals. Brighton have scored 8 goals into matches so far this season, continuing their impressive attacking numbers from last season. In the first 2 game weeks, March ranks second for shots 8 and first for shots on target 6 among midfielders. Julian Alvarez, Man City, £6.6 million, 8.2%. Alvarez started 8 of Man City's last 9 league matches, scoring 3 goals and assisting another 2. 4 of Man City's next 5 fixtures rate 2 out of 5 in the FDR. They have the highest chances of scoring 2 goals in each one of them. Alvarez started from 6 matches against newly promoted teams last season. He scored 5 goals and assisted 2. Finally, it's captain picks. Haaland, no longer the perma-captain pick. Haaland blanked in the last match. He did, however, register for shots in the box. And with Foden starting to find rhythm and Haaland's runs, we could expect a rout against a newly promoted team in Sheffield United, who have already conceded 3 goals. Saka, despite seemingly now off penalties, Saka is still Arsenal's biggest attacking threat. The England man has registered 6 shots so far, 5 of which were in the box. Arsenal face a Fulham side that has one of the worst defenses in the league, with an XG conceded of 3 goals per game. Brian BMO. I have never suggested the Cameroon international for the armband before, but with 3 goals and a total of 23 points in the last 2 games, he should be firmly in your thoughts. Out of Tony's shadow, he is relishing a more advanced role, and registered 5 shots on target so far. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.